What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle content. Today's video, we got a shoutcast of Tapu Fini with the new Nature's Madness in the Great League remix here, submitted to the channel by Renero1981. Thank you, trainer, for the battle submission. Trainers, if you'd like to send shoutcast into the channel for shoutcast submission, you can find a Google form in the description and pinned comment. I have gotten quite a few submissions for Great League Remix. I'm probably not going to get to them all, so obviously, if I don't get to yours, I'm sorry. But I'm going to get to as many as I can because there's a lot of really incredible runs in there. So we're going to take a look at this team first here with Tapu Fini in the Remix Cup. Let's get into the first battle here with the Galvantula on the lead. Very spicy, like it, jelly lead. We like to see it. Yes, we do. Galv is going to oh, they're staying in. Why are they staying in? Okay, we're going for the discharge. This is easy. If they shield, they're good. If they don't, well, oh, they don't even bother shielding. Oh, they don't go for a move. Oh, trainer, I'm so, oh no. Well, that's a way to start the video, isn't it now? All right, we got Gligar on the lead in the next game. Probably going to expect a safe swap here into the... Okay, we go into the Tapu Fini safe swap here. Mantine comes in. See, Nature's Madness, what it does is it actually has a guaranteed defense drop. So Tapu Fini has a lot more consistent play now with its fairy-type damage as it's less costly, and the opponent decides to shield the first one. As you may have heard previous videos, especially when dealing with something like Psychic Fang Steelix, you typically don't want to shield the first move because that usually means that the later moves afterwards are going to do more damage. So the opponent now goes for those aerial aces, and Fini is going to go for another Nature's Madness here, looking to get another shield here potentially. And I don't think they're going to be able to survive to finish this matchup off, but the opponent now having no shields left is huge, because even though Gligar resists the moveset on Galvantula, that still does some damage, and you could farm down with Galv here. Galv is going to get a full farm down of this Mantine, and we just leave. Yeah, don't shield this at all. Yeah, and if you wanted to get a Great League Tapu Fini, is when you do it in raids, it does not come under 1500 on its own. Great League Tapu Fini typically obtained by doing trades. The lower friendship, the better, but you can get a Great League spread with best friends if you have enough Tapu Finis to go for. The opponent tried to catch a Surf on their Poliwrath, but instead they caught these hands from the Jellicent. Jellicent just going to look to farm down here at this point and have a Surf, like 15 Surfs ready to go against the Gligar. And that's pretty much going to be a game over here for the opponent. So good game here. Very nicely done. Well managed. Nice patience by this trainer here. Now, unfortunately, the opponent CMP tied. But because we still have a shield on the Jellicent, Jellicent's going to be able to fire off this next Surf. Jaw's getting sore. I talk too much. I have to, ow. I'm pre-recording my content again on Sunday because I'll be off. By the time you guys see this video, I'll have come back probably, but I want a work trip Monday through Wednesday of this week. So, opponent comes in with a Steelix, Tapu Fini, counter swaps, and this is, man, oh, this is it. Tapu Fini can essentially just farm down this whole Steelix if it wants to. Well, probably not farm down the whole Steelix. It's close, though. But gonna go for the Surf here before the opponent gets to another move. Now the opponent they're not gonna shield that. You go for the Water Gun farm down here, and in comes the Jellicent here. Was it Jellicent? I thought I saw a Mantine in the lead, but it could have been a Jellicent, I guess. So the opponent now comes in with the Jellicent. Nature's Madness, gonna do a reasonable amount of damage here. And I know the Tapu Fini typically is much better off in the Ultra League, but Great League, it definitely has some application here, as Azumarill is the only other thing that really is comparable to it. The opponent has a Crocalor! The Spice Cabinet has been opened, and the opponent brings in their Crocalor. Crocalor has Crunch and Disarming Voice, much like its band cousin and elder brother, Skeledirge here, but able to go for the Surfs here. Easy, easy, easy. The opponent, unfortunately, not having anything that can really handle this Jellicent here. I mean, Jellicent and a Jellicent certainly not going to be too wonderful for the opponent here, but Galvantula is still sitting very, very healthy in the back now, as Jellicent can just pop off these Surfs and continue to shield the Crocalor's attempts to do damage, but the opponent deciding to let that move go. They're not able to get to a charge move, and the Jellicent comes back in, and Jellicent, our Jellicent, is going to go for the Surf here. The opponent is not going to be able to survive two more moves here, but we're going to go for the Lunge here, just to lower that amount of damage, and that's coming in, and the opponent decides, we're not going to be able to win this game, and they let it go. Good game. I forgot to mention, this is like a 9-in-1 run. I probably said it in the thumbnail or the comments somewhere. I'm making this before I do either of those two things. Ooh, awkward lead here. Greedent is obnoxious because it outpaces everything. And it has neutral damage into this whole team. And really does very well against Jellicent because of that normal typing and the dark type or grass type coverage it gets. But going for a catch of the body slam. Very nice catch here on the Jellicent. The body slam is double resisted, and even though this is not a great matchup for Jellicent, the opponent is not going to be able to live too many more fast moves after the Surf, but the Trailblaze is going to do quite a bit of damage here. They're going to go for a Surf here on 2. Not good timing here, but they want to get there before the opponent potentially gets to another move, so I completely get it. Knocks out the Greedent, and hopefully the rest of this game will be pretty simple here for this trainer. Now, Galvantula is sitting in the back enjoying the fact that Pelipper is on this team. So you could even safely go for these moves here, try and get shields down, and see if the opponent goes for this Weather Ball here. I think they're close enough to another Shadow Ball. They might be able to get to it here. The opponent goes just for the Weather Ball here, able to get the Shadow Ball off. The opponent should have gone for the full send if they wanted to get rid of it now. Their whole... Oh, no, they get to the Weather Ball. Oh, man. We got to see what's in the back. They full send the Hurricane, and in comes Charizard here. Gonna go for the lunge to try and pull that shield, lower the amount of damage, but there is a Tapu Fini in the back, and these Volt Switches are tearing this Charizard apart. Tapu Fini comes in, and the opponent concedes the match, and that's a good game here. Well played. Getting into the next game here, we got Galvantula versus Magnezone. This is an awkward lead, but overall Galvantula I feel does well. You could just go for lunge here because both moves here are single resisted, but Trainer's going for Discharge. Okay, I think Discharge maybe, I don't know which actually does more damage. But lunge probably would have been the go-to here. Just because of the fact that it actually lowers that attack, and they're both the same energy. They're probably close enough to the same damage. Opponent goes for the Wild Charge that knocks out the, oh my goodness. And there's a Giratina in the back. Giratina and Steel are a very good core in this meta here. I think Zionic literally put out a video. As I'm recording this, it's Sunday. He put out a video today, I think, with Giratina Magnezone core. So it's a very strong core here. I love Giratina. Unfortunately, just so many things in this meta that kind of like make Giratina hard to run. But if you find success with it, it is a lot of fun to run if you have one. And Giratina is another one of those things where you have to trade it in order for it to be greatly eligible. But the unfortunate thing is that you couldn't get it in raids like Tapu Fini, so you have to get one that somebody already had. The Nature's Madness connects and takes out the Giratina. What are they going to have in the back? Because that Magnezone comes in, but it gets farmed down. The opponent wasn't able to get the move in time. There's a Poliwrath in the back. This is just a disaster for the opponent here. They're going to go for a move, but it looks like a CMP or a very good time move here. Nature's Madness going to do a ton of damage. He's going to get the shield here. Attempted switch into the Jellicent, but unsuccessful because it was a CMP. The opponent goes for the Icy Wind. Tries to, I don't even know if that was an undercharge, to be honest, but you just go for Shadow Ball and you win now. So, I mean, that's it. Good game. There's no way, unfortunately, poor Poliwrath can get around this. Oh, unfortunate. Going for the Shadow Ball here, and it looks like this is a good game here. So, yeah, I think that the opponent, had they double shielded the Tina, they might have had a better chance, but Jellicent in the back is just very hard to deal with. And we're picking up the 5-0 in the first set here as we get into the next set here. Looking on a rip, going up to Veteran Elo here. Maybe they're already there, I don't know. These battles were sent in over the Go Battle weekend, so for all I know, they could be a veteran already. Ferrothorn in the next game. Pretty solid lead here, as Lunge is going to do neutral damage here, and the opponent does go for the extra move. That was a throw on alignment, so they get a full Bullet Seed throw, unfortunately, but you want to be able to get that attack debuff off, because now, I mean, all of Ferrothorn's moves are resisted here. And the Power Whip, not going to do too much damage here. The opponent is going to be able to get to another Power Whip, I believe. No, not quite able to get there. Very nice timing here. It's two is the ideal timing here for these Volt Switches. It's very, very awkward otherwise, but the opponent may be looking to full send a Flash Cannon here. So the Power Whip coming through, shielding up the Galv here. Once again, 2 Volt Switches on the move, but the opponent's going to be able to get to the move first here. But if it's a Power Whip, it's not going to be enough. Power Whip is not enough damage. Going for the Volt Switch, or not even going for the Volt Switch, just going straight for the lunge here to get this thing out of here. The opponent's, the back line is just not happy to see. The opponent says, I'm done. Tapu Fini, done. Let's go. Good game. Opponent has a Carbink in the lead. This is a nightmare of a lead here. Going to the Tapu Fini here, and the opponent brings in Annihilate. That is not an answer to Tapu Fini at all. The opponent hastily switching in to keep their alignment. I don't really know. Maybe they don't have a good matchup here at all against Tapu Fini, but they may have to bait here in order to win this matchup. They call it. The Shadow Ball comes through. The bait call was not to be, unfortunately, but they're up a shield, so Jellicent, if that was their best answer to Tapu Fini, Jellicent may have a very, very good amount of play here. Now, it's up to the opponent. You know, they got, okay, so we're going to go ahead and call another Shadow Ball. If the opponent had baited, that would have been a huge call, but them just full setting Shadow Balls, I respect it. So, the Carbink most likely comes back in here, and Jellicent's going to go to work. What are they? Oh, never mind. Never mind. The opponent may have misclicked or something. I don't know. Man. Come on now. That doesn't matter because we're not getting to the Shadow Ball. They're way too spammy. Not happening, man. That victory bell is just going to end all of the hopes and dreams that this team had of winning right there. Unfortunately, you were kind of hoping that the opponent wasn't going to have something. Now, I don't know if flipping switch. I think flipping switch may make the difference here. I think had they decided to stay the course with the Annihilate and just shield everything, I think Tapu Fini probably could have two-shielded through that Annihilate, and that might have actually been a win in that case because then they would have had Jellicent against the Carbink. So. All right, getting to the next game, we got Gligar on the lead here. We're gonna go for the safe swap into the Fini here, but the opponent, or not the opponent, the game forces an overtap. There we go. Now we got there. I got there eventually. Opponent comes in, immediately goes for a move. This isn't a wild charge. That was way too quick to be a wild charge. They go for the Fell Stinger here, and now we can just go for Surfs. You don't want to go for Nature's Madness in this case because it's resisted damage, and if the opponent doesn't shield it, which I mean they probably do, but you want to go for the Surfs here. Now we're going to be able to get both shields off of this Togedemaru here. It's going to come down to whether or not Tapu Fini wants to commit both shields as well here. They're happy enough, just let it go. 2 shields, let it go. That's okay. The opponent's going for another Fell Stinger though. Huh? Surely we shield now. No, they go for another Fell Stinger here for sure. The opponent just keeps going for Fell Stingers. Okay. They have like quad boosted attack now, and now Galvantula is going to have to shield if it wants to survive this wild charge. It's going to do a lot of damage. The opponent going to go down here, and Jellicent looking to come in immediately. The opponent has, I don't know what they have in the back, but this Gligar's throwing a move before dipping out to do some chip damage. So, all right, dig hits, and the opponent has a Poliwrath in the back. Well, this is looking pretty good here, as Poliwrath definitely does not do anything much against a Jellicent. Jellicent's going to be able to land the Shadow Ball unopposed as the opponent has no shields, and now it's going to be up to Jellicent to see how much farm it can get before going in back against the Gligar. Now, because that Icy Wind, I don't know, man, it's hard to say. Because you would have definitely not wanted to, you would not have wanted to shield and then get farmed down or something, but at the same time, you know, this is a very, very close matchup here. Now, the opponent, I believe, has 3 wing attacks. So, if we swap in here, go for the move. Okay, there it is. We swap in, go for the move on the Galvantula. That might be enough to knock out. Not quite enough to knock out, but is with the attack drop, I don't think a dig knocks out a Galv here though. They're gonna go for the dig. It's not enough. The Volt Switch knocks out. That's gonna be a good game. Well played. Getting into the next battle here, we got Galv on the lead versus Annihilate. This is a pretty good matchup for Galv as it outpaces. Opponent swaps in a Frostlass here, and there's really not an amazing swap to come in with here against the Galv. So the opponent no shields, thinking it might be the lunge, but they get discharged, and now Jelly can just farm all the way down here. Opponent only... Oh! I know Shadow Ball hurts, but the damage! Frostlass slapping, and then comes and then they blind through the Shadow Ball into the Mandibuzz. Oh, that is rough, dude. But now you get alignment. Tapu Fini against the Annihilate, and Galvantula here against the Mandibuzz. This is actually pretty favorable. The opponent's going to find it very hard to come in against this Galvantula. You could even just 2-shield the Tapu Fini here and do just fine. The opponent going to go for the Dark Pulse, and then we're going to see the swap into the Tapu Fini, keeping the energy banked on the Galvantula. No need to shield the Mandibuzz here. The opponent is completely core broken by this Tapu Fini here, and they're going to go for the Nature's Madness. Looking like, nope, they're going to let it go. Saving the shields for the Annihilate, but it's going to eventually, we have to shield something, I imagine. So we're going to go for more farm here, going for the Nature's Madness, and the opponent has to decide are they going to shield this or not. Galvantula is sitting in the back with a move, so I think at this point you just go straight Surf here and not bother going for the Madness. No, we're going for the Madness because it's defense drop. Why not, right? You only need to get 2 moves to land here. Now you just need to get to the Surf. The opponent, you can double shield, or no, you can't double shield because they only have 1 move. Do we call the Night Slash bait here? We do! The Night Slash is called, and we get to the Surf. The opponent is going to get this farm down, but Galv has a move, and they're forced to shield this Surf before Fini goes down. Discharge going to come through. The low HP Galvantula looking to take this Annihilate off the board and take it out. That's a good game. Well played there. All right, let's get into the next game here. We got Galvantula on the lead versus Toxapex. This is not a bad lead, but you have to keep it away from Tapu Fini no matter what. Opponent is opting to stay in this matchup and go for what I would expect to be, is that a, no, it's a Sludge Wave, is it? No, Sludge Wave is 9. Going for the Discharge here, though. The opponent looking to CMP tie, and they don't win that CMP. The opponent going for the Brine, not going to do a lot of damage here, but as long as we can keep the, yep, that's perfect. Opponent safe swaps in Gligar. Tapu Fini rolls out in here, and even though the opponent does technically hard counter Tapu Fini with that Toxapex, they are now low enough to the point where Tapu Fini could potentially take it out with a Nature's Madness. So looking to go for the Surf here. Can't tell if that was a CMP tie or not. But Surf is going to do enough damage to knock out here. Opponent goes for a shield on the CMP tie. I think this is worth a shield right back here. Opponent going for the Aerial Ace now as Tapu Fini is looking to get this farm down. They do get the farm down. That's massive. The Toxapex is going to come in, but the Nature's Madness, I'm pretty sure this is enough damage. If not, it's very close. Going to be able to get the defense drop on this Toxapex. The opponent letting it go. In comes Annihilate, and now the double resisted lunge damage. Does the opponent respect it and shield it? They do! Oh, Galvantula absolutely putting in the work today, and Shadow Ball is going to be able to knock this Annihilate on its butt and end this game. The opponent goes for an Ice Punch bait. They're not going to be able to get to another move here. The Shadow Ball would KO, and that's a good game. Well played. Very nice little showcase. I mean, I think Galvantula honestly did all the work in this video, to be honest. But Tapu Fini with Nature's Madness is always a strong pick when there's not a whole ton of, you know, things like poison and grass. Like, there's some grass in this meta, and there's a couple poisons, but for the most part, Tapu Fini can do very well, as it is very good with Nature's Madness. Getting that defense drop lets it grind out those matchups. So, once again, appreciate Raniero1981 for sending in these battles. You guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.